I'm Katharine, and I came to Newark back in October of 2023.
What brought you to Newark?
Actually, an argument with my mother brought me to Newark. And Tammy says Mike at an episode, and he was deathly ill. So I came to Newark to pray grant.
How'd you know Tammy?
I met Tammy back about 5 years ago when I was in the Hollywood Circle. So we actually met through paparazzi jewelry sales.
Uncle.
I started going to Newark in January a year ago. Catherine's my neighbor. I'm Linda Maxey, by the way. Okay. And we became friends, and I was looking for a church, but I didn't have the nerve to just go looking. And Katharine and her mother Terry invited me to go with them, and that's where I've been going ever since.
My name's Stacey Langradil, and what brought me to Newark was Katharine and Linda upon an invite. And I want to say September of 2024, September 6th, around that time.
I walked at the doors of Newark and immediately felt God's presence. And I've had a lot go on in my life from birth until now. And I've struggled a lot in my life. And I previously had a church home, and it unfortunately had no members. So I was searching out a new church and found Newark. And it's just been amazing ever since.
What Newark means to me is salvation and start. Not allowing me any more trauma that to keep stealing from me. Probably, yes, the first day, of course, with them, but you could feel it immediately. I had looked at other churches, went to other churches, gave it more than time. How we met was, I just moved here from California in March. Had to look at my doctor, found my doctor. I went back in August to California to visit my grand blessings. While coming back, I got the shingles. So the medication I was on, it told me not to be in the sun. So my daughter-in-law, she's like, okay, you can't carry an umbrella everywhere you go. We need to get you something else. So I was like, okay, what are we gonna do? So my daughter-in-law found a hat, and I'm on my way to Hopkinsville just for a follow-up. And I guess afterwards it didn't dawn on me as I walk into the office. I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's no sun in the office. Oh my gosh, I drove with this hat. What people must have thought looking at me. Why is this lady driving with the hat? Then I walked into her office and I'm like, there's no sun in this office. And I don't know how long after, maybe not that much long after, these two ladies walk in. And I don't know how much after, when she sat down, it may have been instant.
I said, you look beautiful in that hat. And it is amazing. I mean, it just made her, she was gorgeous.
And then I told her, you wouldn't believe it, but this hat was on for $4.95 at Aldi. And it was the last one.
And then she got called back into the doctor's office. And I see her, once I got called back, I figured she was Scotland. And we came back out of the doctor's office. She was sitting in her vehicle, and she rolled her window down and told us to come over. And she told me I gave her the hat. I wanted to give her the hat, and she said, because she was insistent on me not giving it to her. And I said, no. I said, my Pastor Angel in California said that if someone compliments you, you're able to part with it. Thank auction my vehicle, but she complimented this hat that I should give it to you. So then she started talking about church, and before she hadn't invited me yet, and then she did mention and they both did, about Newark. So then Katharine, I think both at the same time, but Kathy said, oh, so you have a church. I was going to invite you to Newark, but you said you're pastor. And I said, well, no, that's in California. And we spoke nothing about any of our past, nothing, absolutely nothing. All we did was exchange phone numbers, and I mean, that was it. And then we both went our separate ways. You showed up at one of our yard sales.
You go to tell her about a yard sale we were having.
Right.
She showed up there, and she handed me and Glenda both the brochures, and we just sat down, we began talking, and
still, we've never shared anything at this point. Text, she said, oh, clear to the yard sale. And I thought the yard sale was at the church. She just gave me the address. So
my son and my daughter over with me, and I asked her, would it be okay if I come donate stuff for your yard sale? She's like, yes. So then when I get to her house, and then I'm getting ready to leave, or she said, oh, by the way, we're going to go to church Sunday. We're going to the 10:15. She says, Jeff, she said, you didn't say trauma causes, but she said, oh, Mike, wait, I want to invite you to Charlie Bus. And my son was standing there. Then I was like, okay, so don't have it right here. I don't grip fire. And I was like, how far did she not project? But it was all God out. And I knew, I said, okay, God, I'm listening. Because it stopped reading my head. And I'm doing it here. And I do have my son and my daughter-in-law. It's just me. But I said, home this point in California. My grand blessings, my other 2 daughters. And I know my straight husband probably will get upset, but everything is just a champion's hate. And I never shared this.
It's not as he's working through us. And I feel he will continue as long as we obey.